Hi, I'm Professor Beck Strah.
And I'm producer Brit.
And I'm Media Consultant Spenser. And this is Prison News.
It's the news. Put on your new shoes, 'cause it's time to get up off your chair and hear the news without a care. Said it's the news. Wash away your blues, 'cause it's the prison news.
Surf's up, comrades. Welcome back to Prison News.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, dude. And ahoy to returning guest, fan favorite.
Allegedly.
Not
Allegedly.
fans' favorite, fan favorite. There's one person who keeps requesting you back.
It's Spenser Hodge 420 at hotmail.com.
Yeah,
who
yeah.
keeps emailing me.
Interesting email there. I wonder what that's all about.
Welcome back, Spenser. We missed you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I missed you guys.
It's great to have you back. And you're in for some juicy news today.
Very juicy news.
Those are my favorite kind of news.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a popsicle. You can suck on it in this warm weather, and it's that's all I got.
News for you to suck on, mate. All the news you can suck on and more.
It's nice and cold. All right. So news dropped on July 2nd that the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the BOP, if you will, they are closing 6 federal correctional institutions across the United States due to what they are calling extreme staffing challenges, which I'll get to in a minute. And they have some issues with deteriorating conditions. Those prisons include FCI Beaumont, Low Security in Texas, Big Spring FCI, and Satellite Camp in Texas. I should also mention FCI means Federal Correctional Institution. They also have La Tuna FCI, a federal satellite low and a satellite camp in Texas, Lexington FMC satellite camp in Kentucky, Petersburg FCI low in Virginia, and Taft FCI in California. These prisons currently hold thousands of inmates. The highest population in all of these is in Beaumont, Texas, which is like Eric's old stomping grounds. I wish he was here to comment on it, but we have his ghost possessing Spenser. So
That's true. Yeah, I do live in Texas, so I mean that's close enough.
that is close enough. You are pretty much Eric Bronson right now, and so Beaumont currently has 1,600 inmates, and they have a low security or a minimum security camp next door that has another 514 inmates. So just that one prison is like 2,000 inmates, and their officials don't actually say where the inmates are moving, but the Bureau did say we are upgrading our minimum security prison camps in Duluth, Minnesota, and Morgantown, West Virginia, and they're no longer going to be these like club-fed prison camps. They're turning them into low-security prisons that can hold more inmates and more risky inmates. So we're getting more punitive at the same time because we're closing the lower security facilities.
Yikes.
So what's also happening? The Bureau of Prisons employees working in Beaumont, Lexington, and Petersburg, they're going to be able to transfer to other prisons. But employees at the Big Spring facility and La Tuna, which is Spanish for the tuna fish, are facing layoffs.
Wait, really?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the tuna, I suppose.
That sounds like, a Spanish seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like a tapas or maybe like a good ceviche.
Oh, yeah. Like a really good like Spanish take on poke, on like a crostini or something like that. Oh, yeah.
Well, isn't ceviche just like Mexican poke?
Well, no, because
basically
it's
the same thing.
Well, it's in an acid in lime juice, and so the lime juice actually cooks the fish, whereas usually poke is not cooked at all unless it's like just seared.
Right. Okay.
You guys, let's pool our money together and buy the La Tuna facility and open up this restaurant. That would be so tight.
Would it be a prison restaurant or a restaurant that just so happens to be in a prison?
It would be the latter, but I think that is also pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, I think like an abandoned prison is a cool location for anything that isn't another prison. Honestly,
yeah. One thing I think about is like in Kirkland, Washington, where I used to live, they had a Costco home that was like a Costco that sold all these home things, like couches
furniture
and
mostly,
and it turned into the jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Oh. You're imprisoned in Costco?
Yeah, right. Like you don't ever hear of like the back conversion of a place into a prison. You always hear of like,
right.
I mean, I don't even hear of places turning prisons into something.
Yeah,
afterwards.
it's always, oh, this building used to be a Toys R Us, not I'm serving 2 to 4 in Toys R Us.
Right. Imagine like you get arrested for a heinous crime and they just bring you to like a staged bedroom. Like, yeah.
It's like an IKEA that they've converted into a prison.
IKEA feels like a prison already, all right? So
it sure does.
It wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard.
Employees at the Big Spring and the tuna fish facilities, they're facing layoffs, according to the press release. The authorities claim this will impact minimal staff since the two facilities, Big Spring and La Tuna, are not even currently in operation. So I wonder, like, is it just groundskeepers? I don't have this information, but that's weird. And there was a Taft facility that's been closed since the first Trump administration when it was found to be in disrepair. I found some articles on it, and there's a shitload of cracks in the walls from soil settlement, and they condemned the facility. So it makes sense that they would shutter that one entirely. But in 2025, the Bureau of Prisons got $5 billion from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, allocating nearly $3 billion of that for staffing and training, $2 billion for improving the infrastructure. And they are currently facing a backlog of around $4 billion in like these deferred maintenance costs. They're just like kicking the can and we'll get to it eventually. And the Federal Corrections Officers Union, the American Federation of Government Employees, they have argued that Congress should intervene to address personnel and maintenance issues. And the union president says, hey guys, closing these facilities will make communities less safe and put more strain on already overworked correctional staff. But I would argue if most of these employees are being put off into other facilities, maybe not as much strain on overworked correctional staff. It sounds like if you're sending people to other institutions, it would help with understaffing and wherever's still open and cut down on overtime hours.
Yeah, you'd think. I guess it depends on like how many like inmates they also add to those facilities as well.
True.
So it could just be another kicking the can down the road sort of situation.
Yeah, we should just have one mega prison. Turn like Wyoming into like the federal prison.
The whole state.
Well, once again, Wyoming already feels like a prison.
About this. There's a great documentary about this. It's called Escape from New York. Have you seen this?
True,
you heard about this?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, let's just turn Manhattan into a prison. I mean, let's.
Oh, we also
it was right there.
Yeah, District B13, also another documentary, pretty much about that, but with parkour.
Oh yeah,
right,
prison parkour. Right. I would love prison parkour classes. I think inmates would benefit from this.
Yeah.
That seems responsible. Like teach all
Here's
the prisoners
how to climb a wall.
Right. You didn't think you could slip through bars, did you? Well,
we're missing out on training these like potential circus employees for their eventual release.
Wow, that's forward thinking right there.
Yeah.
Prison circus school is that's my new important thing.
What you care about.
Yeah,
it sure is.
Now, there's an interesting thing that's been happening, a trend that's been happening with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. They have about 34,000 employees. They lost more than 1,400 employees last year, with many going off to work for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which many of you know as ICE, due to the higher salaries and the signing bonuses offered by ICE. That sucks.
And the fact that they're legally sanctioned to be violent so they can be the assholes they want to be.
Right. The place you go work for if you have zero moral compass and job prospects. So apparently there's been such a shortfall of corrections officers that in some facilities, they take teachers, case managers, counselors, facility workers, and secretaries in the facility, and they've been enlisted by the Bureau of Prisons to serve as correctional officers to make up the difference.
You can be enlisted to be a CO. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could be drafted. Yeah, right. They brought back the draft, but for COs.
Dude, you know what that reminds me of? When I was 16 years old, I worked for KFC, and I was a cook, and I was by the time I had worked there for 1 month, I was already the most tenured employee they had. I'm not even joking. Outside of the manager, who literally was a turbo alcoholic who just locked herself in her office all day and just drank all day. We never saw her ever. She just drank all day by herself in her office. It was crazy. Anyways, it reminds me of when I was working there and I had been a cook for 1 month, and that's the only job I had ever done there. And they were like, hey, we don't have somebody to work register. Come work register. But they didn't teach me how the register worked. And I was like, I don't know what any of this does. And some guy's like, oh, I want the chicken. And I'm like, dog, I don't know how to give you the chicken. But, it was a bad time.
This is why Spenser is a requested guest, because he brings us I could listen to Spenser talk about working at KFC all day long.
You have probably collectively over the years.
I remember picking I remember picking you up with Scott so you could skip work at KFC.
Hell yeah! No, I loved not going to that job. That job sucked, dude. Terrible. Toys R Us, honestly, it was weird that we're talking about all of my old teenage jobs. Toys R Us and KFC have come up today. We just got to find a way to work Zoomies into this, and we've got the trifecta, But Toys R Us was honestly a much worse job than KFC, surprisingly. But
you didn't have this cool manager who stays in their office and manage yourself. There's nobody micromanaging you. They're just like, hey, I believe in you. Go work the register.
Dude, literally, it was bad, man. They didn't train me how to do any of the cooking or anything. They were just
that sounds responsible.
You just throw it into the fryer.
Hope for the best.
And the extra crispy. It gets 2 dips into the breading.
Yep.
That's the only difference.
Yeah.
It gets 2
double
dips.
dredged. Yeah. That's how you make crispy chicken. Is you double dredge it.
Yeah,
you remember all this. That's amazing. Truly amazing.
Truly. Okay, while we're on the subject, really quick, this is also related to prisons. My favorite coworker, I take that back. Sorry, I was not the most tenured employee after a month. I was the most tenured cook, specifically. The most tenured employee was the guy I liked to work with the most, who was a really nice and funny guy until Brit looked him up and found him on the sex offender registry.
Yeah.
Which is a literal thing that happened. Yeah. Brit was like, hey, you know that guy you like at work? I think I found him on the sex offender registry. And I was like, what? No. And yeah, it was him.
It was something benign of peeing outdoors or something like that.
I don't remember, so it's hard to comment, but I don't think it was benign.
I mean, it never is, but you always hope. I'm going to hold out hope.
Especially if you're a sex offender in Alaska. You did something. You did something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to even get convicted of something up there, it's like the Dark Souls of sex offendustry,
you can just parry your court dates and just
that guy said.
Yeah.
So to finish off the article, in 2023, the New York Times wrote an article or published an article saying that at that time, there was already an understaffing issue that's just carried on for 3 years. But at the time, they had over 4,200 openings for corrections officers. It was 21% of their workforce was unfilled, which is crazy to think about. And so just this last January, the Bureau of Prisons announced they would offer retention bonuses to agency employees to fight understaffing, which is a great idea for any agency. But they recognize they still need some permanent pay reforms. And there was actually some bipartisan legislation that went through in the House and Senate in January to secure a 35% pay raise for Bureau of Prison staff, because these federal employees are making less than county and state employees who are doing the exact same job as corrections officers. Also, against their
crazy.
favor. The Federal Bureau of Prisons ended union protections for workers last year.
What?
When last September the Trump administration last September the Trump administration collapsed their collective bargaining agreement that protected more than 30,000 workers.
Wow.
The Bureau's director, William Marshall, told employees he was doing it because the contract that he canceled became an obstacle to making changes intended to improve safety and morale. The union's president, on the other hand, said terminating the contract would deprive employees of essential labor rights and methods for addressing workplace problems like forced overtime and safety concerns.
Yep.
Damn,
Cool.
that sucks.
Yeah, that really sucks.
Yeah, it's
like
especially
they're-
for a place like a prison.
Yeah.
Like you need employee protections.
Right. And they're like, oh, we're losing too many people. What's the solution? Oh, take away their employee protections. Make their
morale too.
Yeah. Take away their collective bargaining, take away their rights. Like, yeah, that'll definitely help the
It's definitely going to help morale, you know?
Yeah. And employees love that. So that's the news I got.
Hell yeah.
Producer Britain.
Well, I think now would be a great time to give a shout out to our sponsor, Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies.
Hot dog, tell me about them.
Oh gosh, they have so many great offerings in degrees, master's programs, and certificates, graduate programs, all types of stuff. You know,
I love stuff.
They got such crazy offerings as international relations,
Boom.
public administration,
Boom.
legal studies,
Zoom.
political science,
Ho.
forensic science,
Ho.
anthropology,
Yeah.
sociology.
Yeah.
Of course, we got the big boys over in criminal justice.
Yes.
And of course, my favorite certificate program, the best certificate program, the only certificate program.
The only certificate program. There's some like good circular breathing going on with what Brit's doing here.
Yeah.
It's still going.
Very didgeridoo coded. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I think it's Alp horn, the giant Ricola horn. We learned what those are in one of the last episodes.
Oh, nice.
That's good. Yeah. It's still going.
You know,
Leadership.
it's always a bad sign when you pull up to a party and there's a guy with a didgeridoo. like it's
Dude,
good omen.
I was invited to a party tonight where there's a guy with a didgeridoo.
Oh no!
You'll never
gotta not
guess
go.
which of our friends he looks exactly like.
Yep.
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 More didgeridoo don't.
Didgeridoo? Don't. Okay, so let's get into some more news. Let's get into the most depressing news of the year. So
That's good.
yeah, thank you. This one comes from The Guardian over across the pond in UK. But they're writing about us. They're writing about the U.S. I wanted to get a non-U.S. article because so many of the U.S. articles are biased towards the U.S. and we don't want that here. So this article says 7 more sentenced to prison over protest outside Texas detention center. So this one comes from Texas, where Spenser is. So this is
It's my fault.
your fault.
Cowboy.
Yep.
So 7 more people were sentenced to prison Wednesday over a shooting outside a Texas immigration detention center that wounded a police officer and has left many protesters facing decades behind bars. All but one of the defendants sentenced in Fort Worth courtrooms pleaded guilty to charges related to the shooting outside the Prairieland detention center near Dallas last 4th of July. They were sentenced between nearly 2 and 15 years in prison. The final defendant, Inés Soto, who pleaded not guilty, but was convicted of charges relating to providing material support to terrorists, riot, and planning to use explosives in the form of fireworks, was sentenced to 50 years. The same judges...
It's 5-0?
50 years.
Oh my God.
Explosives in the form of fireworks. So they were planning on setting off fireworks.
Yeah.
Sorry, real quick, just to recall the last time I was here on this fine program. How many years did Jared Fogle get for the horrible things that he did?
I don't recall. I feel like less than 50. Though.
As a resident
less than 15
expert, let me Google this.
I just want to put this in perspective for those listening.
15 years and 8 months.
Jesus. Yeah, 15 prison. Years.
Okay.
That's 1-5, not 5-0 like this guy with fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
So the same.
He had sex with kids. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just making sure I understand.
Unfortunately, you do. The same judges have already handed down harsher sentences to 8 people who were convicted at trial, including a former Marine reservist who received a 100-year prison term. One of those 8 was Soto's wife, Elizabeth, who also received a 50-year sentence. Those sentenced last week received what was effectively life in prison. Another defendant, Daniel Sanchez Estrada, was sentenced to 30 years despite not attending the protest.
That's so wild.
Right. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about that guy in particular.
The U.S. federal government charged the protesters with conspiring to ambush a law enforcement officer as part of so-called Antifa, short for the loosely networked anti-fascist movement. The government has categorized Antifa as a terrorist threat, although Antifa is not one organization nor group. In order to make their case, the FBI included political literature found in the defendants' homes. The case has been closely watched by critics who say the prosecutions could have serious implications for protesters nationwide and First Amendment free speech rights. U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor called the protest an assault on democracy before he and another judge handed down lengthy prison sentences last week to 8 others who were convicted on terrorism charges. The 6 defendants who did not stand trial had pleaded guilty to providing material support to terrorists. One of them testified at the earlier trial that he spray-painted a guard shack and vehicles in the parking lot. The protesters' attorneys have insisted there was no planned ambush and that the people who took firearms to the demonstration did so for their own protection. They argued the gathering was planned as a late-night demonstration with fireworks to show support for immigrants detained inside the facility. Prosecutors told jurors at trial that the group's actions, including bringing firearms, first aid kits, and wearing body armor, signaled nefarious intent. In interviews with The Guardian, the defendant argued that they were exercising their constitutional Second Amendment rights in light of law enforcement violence against anti-ICE protesters, and that their first aid kits were meant as a precaution. Benjamin Song, the former U.S. Marine reservist who was convicted of attempted murder in the shooting, was sentenced to 100 years in prison, and 7 others received prison terms ranging from 30 to 70 years. Some of them, including Song as well as Elizabeth Soto, have filed notices of appeal.
Yeah, they definitely should. It wasn't okay. So they covered this on like a bonus episode of Chapo, I think, right? Like, like there was some kind of inciting incident where it was like a cop pulled his gun and the bullet ricocheted and hit him or something.
Right. So the Marine reservist like pulled out a gun and like shot the ground or something, and the bullet ricocheted and hit the officer in the ear. And so they basically convicted the guy of attempted murder and everyone else in this group with conspiracy to attempted murder, among other charges.
Yes, which is the craziest thing. And with the guy who was at home, who got 30 years, like what happened there exactly? He was friends with them, and they're like, this is a conspiracy.
He was supposedly part of the planning. And there was also a guy who was at the protest who was convicted for his part in this. I think he got 30 years for moving a box of magazines.
It's my understanding that these are the same guy, one the thing that you're talking about. Yeah. Oh. So that's been my understanding about it, because I know some people here in Texas that knew that guy or whatever. I've been seeing some things going around about that, and it seems insane. I mean, to put it mildly, but very disturbing in general.
Yeah, fully agree. And I hope that there's some justice here. Is it federal or state courts that they're being
state court? It's in Texas. And like, oh God. So I think the thing that might bother me the most about this is the fact that they brought guns, body armor, and first aid kits shows nefarious intent, which is something that we know the Proud Boys do all the time. Basically all alt-right organizations do this same thing. And they, you know, like Kyle Rittenhouse brought body armor, a gun, and a first aid kit to a protest and killed several people. No conviction.
I thought he killed 2 people.
Yeah, several people.
Yeah. And so what this essentially signals is if you want to have a protest in our state and it's about something that we disagree with as being conservative, then we plan to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. It's absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it seems to go beyond the realm of simply like conservative. It's like, hey, we are directly going to uphold whatever like fascism at the top is dictating to the most extreme way we possibly can.
Yeah, which is not at all justice. Like horrifying. There's no justice here.
Yeah, totally.
That is bananas. Brit, thank you for bringing us the most depressing news I've heard all year.
You're welcome. All right. Well,
but now
you want to bring it up? You want to bring up the mood a little bit?
I do. I want to move on to a little bit of a segment we call Brit's Picks.
Okay, let's do it. Brit's Picks. Brit's Picks. Brit's Picks. All right, time for some Brits picks. So let's start out with a little movie I watched recently that I really enjoyed. This year has been a great year for horror films, so I'm going to give a brief shout out to some horror films I watched recently that I rather enjoyed. Backrooms, Obsession, and Hokum. All 3 of them very good. But the big one I want to recommend right now is a little bit of an older horror film, a 40-year-old horror film called Terror Vision from 1986. It is... it's a science fiction horror film about a guy and his sister, both of whom have swinger parents, who are actually a big part of the plot, having swinger parents, and they get like a satellite dish, and the satellite dish starts picking up like this evil alien, and then this alien that's trying to save them from the evil alien. And the evil alien like gets transported through the TV into the house and starts like
naturally
wrecking havoc. And you know what? I just had a great time with this film. It's amazing practical effects, really fun acting, really stupid premise, but it's like just a highly entertaining film, and I can't recommend it enough. Speaking of things I can't recommend enough, Apple TV's Widow's Bay just finished.
So good.
It's so good. So good. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. I turned Beck here onto it, and I just finished the last episode, and it is really just a fun time. It's a really great take on like kind of a northeastern horror comedy kind of thing. It takes place like on this island where for some reason like people born there can't leave without dying, and there's just a bunch of weird mystery. It's very much like a mystery box kind of thing, but they do provide like very fulfilling answers, I think.
Yeah, they do a good job of metering out the mystery and not keeping it too much, too overwhelming, like something like Lost, for example. Another thing that I think that they do really, really well on that show is like it is very funny, but it never at the expense of the horror.
Right.
Like the horror is always creepy. It is always scary. It is always intense.
Right.
But there is humor there. It just never undercuts those more scary moments.
And sometimes the humor has like this deep underlying terror to it. Like one of my favorite gags in the entire show is the mayor, like the main guy in the show, Tom, is at a hotel, and he's looking through the hotel's games, and he picks up a game that's just called Teeth, and he opens it up, and it's just a pair of pliers.
That's such a good bit.
I thought that was so funny.
Face,
yeah, and he's just like, "What?"
So funny.
It was so
he's
funny.
Like, what? Yeah. Amazing. Great stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then, my other favorite bit, I think, in the entire show, another visual gag, is there's a part where Tom is looking through a calendar called Wolves, and it's just like pictures of wolves every month, and he flips forward to like September, and it's just a car crash, no wolves.
That bit was very funny too, because it was another like look on his face, like what the fuck?
yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, very good show. Can't recommend it enough. And my final recommendation is going to be what I'm drinking right now, Liquid Death Pina Colada. It's absolutely delicious. It's this is my first one I've had. I just picked it up this morning. I had a bunch of beverages left over from a party last night, and it's fucking delicious, dogs. Highly recommendo.
All right.
All right. Nice. You want to get into some Beckommendations?
Let's do it. Let's Beckemmendo something.
Beck's Rex. Beck's Rex. Beck's Rex. Or Beckommendations. I recommend the Constitution of the United States. I recommend peeing in someone's yard. Objection, Your Honor. Beckommendations.
Let's kick it off. I have also been engaging in movie culture this summer. And, trying to beat the heat, you guys. And I have seen 2 fantastic films in this very last week of ours, and I would recommend them both. Beckemmend them both, excuse me. First, we have the film I Love Boosters. Just came out this year. Directed by Boots Riley, director of Sorry to Bother You, one of my favorites from a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And this is a super dope movie about 3 women who are stealing clothes from a fashion designer chain and selling them back to people in the community for less money. And they call themselves Boosters. It is so goofy. It's so irreverent. I haven't seen anything this funny since the movie Hundreds of Beavers came out last year. Mm. And I love Boots Riley's delightfully Marxist spin on everything, and his color palette, the costumes, the whole thing is so watchable. It's so fun and bright and colorful, and will keep your attention. I was wrapped to the screen. Mm-hmm. I also loved this last weekend. I went on a date with Mrs. Podcast, and we went to see Tuner. And I knew nothing about this going in.
Law Tuner? The Spanish restaurant?
I almost made that joke. I didn't. I had restraint.
Thank you. La Tuner Fish. So Tuner is a movie about go in not knowing too much about it, but it's a movie about a young man who is a piano tuner. And it has some romance, it has some heist elements, and it makes you actually care about like the idea of piano tuning. And this guy is like perfect pitch, which is the thing I learned more about. Mm-hmm. You two as musicians, do you know anyone with perfect pitch? This is crazy. Where somebody can play a note and it can be like E flat.
No, it's
a weird talent to have.
I know a few people with like relative pitch, like jazz musicians and stuff. Like relative pitch is something you can develop pretty easily. Perfect pitch is definitely something you're more born with. Yeah.
Most musicians that have been playing for some amount of time have some amount of relative pitch.
Sure.
I mean, because you do learn that over time, like you said. But yeah, perfect pitch is incredibly rare. I have never met anyone with perfect pitch. Yeah.
It's pretty dope, though. Would recommend, especially to my musician friends here. It also makes you care about music composition in a way that, like, part of the climax of the movie has a piano composer doing a a piano recital, and you're just like floored. I love watching piano. So 2 movies. I also recommend banana ice cream. 'Tis the season to enjoy ice cream the most. It's the ice cream month.
Sounds
right
great.
now. Banana ice cream is my favorite. Our local creamery, Mel's Downtown Creamery. It's their flavor of the month, and I'm all about it. So
Sounds
banana
incredible.
ice cream, I recommend you. And finally, I finished a book just the other day called Project Mind Control by John Leisel. And Leisel is a scholar and a historian, and this details the CIA and MK Ultra and what exactly happened. We'll get into that more in a future episode, but a lot of this is drawn from archival works and depositions with Sidney Gottlieb, who was the director of MK Ultra, and you learn all about a CIA program that was trying to weaponize using drugs against people, just people in the United States, the government using drugs against us, and trying to perfect mind control, which is not something that I want the government doing against us.
No.
So recommend all 3. Project Mind Control. Do we have any Spencers? Yeah, what's up?
Project Mind Control. That sounds like the title for Operation Mind Crime 3 by Jeff Tate.
Yeah. It really does.
It really does.
It really does.
It's funny you said that, because I actually worked an Operation Mindcrime joke into a future episode I wrote that gets into
Oh my
Amazing.
God.
Amazing.
Yeah, I better be there. For that, because that's right up my alley.
Spencer,
Now listen, only one of us here follows Jeff Tate on Instagram, and it's this guy.
That's true. I follow him tangentially because Spencer sends me a lot of posts.
I send Brit almost every single one of his posts.
It's a
Dear
lot.
listener, you don't know what we're talking about. This is the band Queensryche with former frontman Jeff Tate, who is unceremoniously kicked out of his own band.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, do we have any Spencer's gifts to offer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Wait. Do we have a theme?
No, you sang the theme last time. Remember?
Spencer's gifts.
There you go.
Wow, thanks. Yeah, we're here for that. I'm here for that. Yeah, okay. So what have I been doing? I played the recent James Bond video game, which is 007 First Light from IO Interactive. IO Interactive being the studio behind Hitman, which is the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy, is my most favorite trilogy of games in the last decade, easily. And so I was very excited to play the James Bond game, and I played it, and it is great. But that's not even what I'm here to talk about. Playing that game inspired me to go back and watch, and in a lot of cases, rewatch the old James Bond films. And this has been quite a journey. I have watched, I think 12 of these films at this point. All of the 60s, all of the 70s. And I got to say, there's a few that I want to recommend, okay? Firstly, Live and Let Die from 1971. It's the first Roger Moore James Bond film. It takes place in largely like Louisiana and New Orleans, which is an interesting setting for a Bond film. And it's got the great Yaphet Kotto as the villain, who is wonderful. And it's a very weird and unusual Bond film. It's spooky. There's an undead voodoo man. There are pimp mobiles. It's odd. It's weird. It's interesting. It's cool. I recommend that one. But the biggest recommendation I got is for 1977's The Spy Who Loved Me, which is a James Bond film that is also a submarine film. And if you know me, which you probably don't, but I love submarine movies. So let me tell you, The Spy Who Loved Me, fantastic film. Possibly the best Bond film, easily the top of my list so far. It is great. There's too many great things to comment on in it, but a huge recommend from me there. And lastly, if you're looking to beat the summer heat and you don't feel like getting your cream on, like Beck recommended, I would recommend a refreshing popsicle. My favorite brand in the United States, at least, being Johnny Pops. Highly recommended. They have a lot of different flavors that are very delicious. Recommend any of them. However, my most favorite is probably going to be the pineapple or the watermelon flavor. Both of those are very good. They also do a sangria sort of flavor that is also very good. Big recommend all around.
Wait, isn't Johnny Pops the vocalist from Bloodhound Gang?
Yeah, something like that.
No, I think it's short for Jonathan Popsicles.
Yes, probably.
Actually, that's probably true.
Well, I can't wait to pick up this 007 First Light. And let me tell you, I used to play a lot of GoldenEye back on the N64, and the Voodoo Man, Baron Samedi with the top hat.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
my guy. That was my guy.
He's an awesome guy for sure. He does some really cool dances in the movie, which are great. He makes a surprise appearance at the end, which I won't spoil.
You just did.
He's a Voodoo Man with a
You
top
just
hat.
did.
That's all you need to know.
Well, I didn't spoil how he appears, which is the surprise.
All right.
So,
Well, if that's that, let's close it out. If you liked our podcast, thanks for listening. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts.
Yes. And thank you to Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies, our beloved sponsor.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We salute you. And until next time, it's lights out.
Lights out! Lights out!